Okay, so it really feels like the world is accelerating, doesn't it?
It absolutely does.
Like major shifts happening all the time, and you get the sense a lot of it ties back to artificial intelligence.
Yeah, that feeling, that sense of acceleration, it really jumps out from this document we've been looking through.
Mm.
It's just packed with data observations,
Right.
like looking at AI from all angles,
Mhm.
technical, financial, social, even physical stuff, and global politics.
So our mission here really is to give you the shortcut. We waded through the source, pulled out the key things, the stuff that makes you go, huh, maybe.
The surprising bits, yeah.
Exactly. So you can get a clear picture of what's actually happening with AI right now. Okay, let's dig in.
All right, so first big question. Is change really happening faster than ever?
It feels like it, but
Well, this document makes a pretty strong case for yes. Get this comparison. The internet took, what, 23 years to hit 90% adoption?
23 years. Yeah, I remember reading that.
The data here suggests AI could hit that same level in maybe just 3 years.
3. That's wow.
It's a staggering difference.
And you see specifics that back that up, right? Like ChatGPT getting to 1 million users in just 5 days.
Fastest ever for a standalone product, yeah. And think about search volume. 365 billion annual searches. It got there 5.5 times faster than Google did way back when.
That kind of pace is just, it's kind of wild. Unprecedented, really.
And that speed, it's fueled by absolutely massive investment. We're talking the big 6 U.S. tech firms
Okay.
ramping up their capital expenditure, they're spending on infrastructure, by 63% in just 1 year, 2023 to 2024.
63%. And specifically shifting towards AI stuff.
Exactly. AI infrastructure, data centers, all that.
And data centers themselves. Construction values booming too, right?
Yeah.
Up nearly 50% annually over the last couple of years in the U.S.
Yeah, huge acceleration there. And then you look at like NVIDIA, the chip maker everyone talks about.
Mm-hmm.
Their revenue is up 28 times, not percent, times, over 10 years.
28x. That shows the scale of this infrastructure build out. It's foundational.
It really is.
Yeah.
But what's also super interesting, and maybe a bit surprising in the source, is the economics behind it all.
How so?
Well, training these big AI models, that's incredibly expensive.
Yeah.
And getting more so, costs grew like 2,400 times between 2016 and 2024.
2,400 times. Okay, that's a barrier, you'd think.
You would. But, and this is the key part, the cost of running the models, the inference cost per token.
Right, the cost each time it actually does something.
Exactly. That cost is actually falling, and falling faster than costs did for things like electricity or computer memory back in the day.
So super expensive to build, but cheaper and cheaper to use each time.
Precisely. And that falling cost per use, that's what's really pushing the adoption we're seeing.
Which is everywhere, basically.
Pretty much. The document shows developers jumping on board really fast. The NVIDIA developer ecosystem grew 6 times in 7 years.
6x. Okay. And businesses,
Yeah.
enterprises.
Oh yeah, huge uptake there too. Microsoft's AI product revenue, it's running at like $13 billion a year now.
15 billion.
Up 175% year over year, Zoom's AI companion thing. Activated accounts jumped 68% in just 1 quarter.
Wow.
Salesforce has this AI data cloud product, Agentforce, hit $900 million annual recurring revenue almost right out of the gate.
So real money, real adoption.
Definitely. And some cool examples too, like Duolingo using AI. They had non-programmers, people who didn't even know chess, build a whole chess curriculum with AI help.
That's fascinating, using AI to enable people to do things they couldn't before.
Exactly. Or look at healthcare Kaiser Permanente, rolling out AI scribes to over 25,000 doctors.
To help with notes and admin, presumably.
Yeah, basically changing how work gets done.
And it's not just software anymore, is it? It's moving into the physical world.
Definitely. Self-driving is a big one. Tesla's full self-driving miles keep climbing. Waymo grabbed like 27% of the rideshare market in San Francisco in less than 2 years.
27% share, that quickly.
Okay. It's also in defense companies like Anduril.
Maybe okay.
Mining. Cobalt metals using AI to find mineral deposits faster.
Right, and agriculture.
Yeah, Carbon Robotics has this thing called a laser weeder. Uses AI vision, zaps weeds with lasers.
No way. So less need for herbicides like glyphosate.
That's the idea. The document calls it turning physical assets into software endpoints, all powered by AI.
Okay, so it's spreading, investment's huge, costs are weirdly dropping for usage. What about competition?
Oh, it's heating up. Intensely. The source points to just a surge in new AI models being released.
Different types.
Yeah, multimodal ones that handle text, images, stuff like that, up over 1,150% in 2 years. Language models up 420%. Just a flood of new models.
And open source is playing a role, too.
Big time. You see it in Meta's Llama model downloads, activity on platforms like Hugging Face, lots of open source momentum.
And this is all happening with that backdrop of global competition, the U.S. versus China AI space race thing the document mentions.
Yeah, that geopolitical tension is definitely part of the picture painted in the source.
Right. And we have to touch on the risks, of course. The document covers those, too.
It does. All the things people worry about. Misuse in weapons, surveillance, bias in decision-making, jobs.
The employment impact, yeah.
It even includes that really powerful quote attributed to Stephen Hawking.
Which one is that?
Something like, success in creating AI could be the biggest event in the history of our civilization.
Okay. But there's a but.
Yeah. But it could also be the last, unless we learn how to avoid the risks. Puts it pretty starkly.
It certainly does. Okay, so wrapping this up, this deep dive really confirms it, doesn't it? When AI is accelerating like crazy.
Unprecedented pace.
Yeah.
Fueled by just massive investment.
Transforming work, moving into the physical world, driving intense global competition.
And it's not just, abstract tech news. This evolution touches you, how you work, the tools you might use.
How you interact with everything, potentially.
Exactly.
So here's a final thought to leave you with, something from the document. It floats this idea that the next billion people coming online, they might just skip browsers and apps altogether.
Skip them. How?
They might start their whole digital life just talking to AI agents in their own language.
Whoa, so no websites, no apps, just conversation with an AI.
That's the provocation. What does that imply for how we get information, share knowledge? What does the internet even mean for a huge chunk of the world if that happens? Something to chew on.